Just recycling some clothes. I'm not a minimalist, okay? I'm not Matt Diavella. I would never want that for myself.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Over the past few years, I've attempted a slew of time management practices. It's only on occasion that I feel like I'm getting the hang of it. Most of the time, I don't feel like I'm great at time management, even though time management is life management. It's like maybe the only skill there is. It's like how you manage your experience of time and life. When I look back, I could say the need for it really started in college, high school even, but it became a necessity for me to hone in on what matters and what I do every single day now. Because if I don't do things that matter every day now, there's no coasting I can do. Everything I do today as a self-employed person, it makes a difference, and it has created a new intensity in me. Time management can be a major leveling up factor for everyone though, not just entrepreneurs or students or business people. To get to the next level, to be the best version of yourself, to actualize your goals or have better relationships, it's helpful to have time under your control. I'm currently on the tail end of an experiment where I live like Marcus Aurelius, the great philosopher king, for 30 days. So I've been reading lots and lots of works on Stoicism, but for today's video, I want to talk about time management principles from who might be considered maybe one of the more controversial Stoics, Seneca. Like most of the writers from the ancient world, Seneca had like a crazy life. He was exiled to an island for 8 years, and actually his call to freedom was being a tutor to one of the most tyrannical leaders of the Roman Empire, Nero. And that's actually how Seneca died. Nero had him killed over his fear that Seneca would try to overthrow him. So in 2021, who knows if he would be a hero who would be revered, lionized, or if he would be kind of looked down upon. Nevertheless, he left us with many foundational truths. He wrote a very pithy book called On the Shortness of Life, which would be an enormous kick in the butt for anyone who hasn't been doing what they're supposed to be doing, procrastinating. And his writing might be one of my favorites among the Stoics because it's so plain, it's so clear, and yet he still has that ethos and energy for life, a lust for life, that many of the other Stoics also talked about. To start off, let's acknowledge that time management, even with practice, is quite challenging. It's kind of this revolving door of delegating tasks, forcing yourself to find what task you have to do, getting yourself to do it, hating yourself because you're procrastinating, giving into the temptations that life throws at you, and then backing away from them. I think the level at which we find this difficult depends on our environments, our upbringing, and what we're balancing at the time. But with that being said, there are 3 principles that are really clear from Seneca that are very valuable. The first principle from Seneca is that one must practice delayed gratification. This is certainly easier said than done since we're bombarded as a society with all things instant, so it's plausible to say that we're familiar with instant gratification. It's sort of become the new norm. But there will be times in every day where delaying gratification for the greater good will present itself, and we should strike at that opportunity when it comes. If we can tap into the energy of delayed gratification and recognize moments where we can utilize it, it's helpful for self-reliance. Something that helps me practice delayed gratification when I feel tempted not to is recognizing the moments in my day where it is presenting itself to me, where I think, oh, I really want to do this, but I should do this. And I actually have an imaginary friend in my brain that I've developed. You know, he's like the only non-toxic parenting source in my life. His name is Stick. And when I'm facing one of those moments of, this is not a joke, when I'm facing one of those moments where delayed gratification presents itself to me, for some reason Stick speaks in Ebonics and he's really, really encouraging. He always calls me playa. And I'll ask him, Stick, you know, I really feel like eating right now. What should I do? And he says, you know what, maybe you should meditate before you eat. Or maybe you should finish all your invoices before doing this other thing that you want to do. If you don't want to rely on an imaginary friend like me, what you can do is recognize that you're sort of demeaning yourself, your present self, if you excuse what you're supposed to do. If you can sort of slap yourself on the wrist and force yourself to fulfill your duties instead of sinking into the couch, literal or metaphorical, you are gifting future you the freedom to do more, or at least have the option. Sometimes it's helpful, potentially, to give yourself like a vision board of treats you want to give yourself over the course of a week or a month, and tell yourself, these gifts, these moments of downtime, they will avail themselves to me once I finish what needs to be done. When I finish the activity of delayed gratification, I get to do this thing or that thing. An example of this, hit the gym now when you have the chance, whether motivation is there or not. Knowing future you might do the same workaround or might have something come up of higher priority. Here, you're delaying the gratification that comes with resting. By resting before the work is done, you're in a sense rewarding a version of yourself that hasn't done the work yet. And as Seneca puts it, Putting things off is the greatest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. This brings me to the second principle: utilize your time best by narrowing your focus. A narrowed focus is a pretty powerful thing, and a way I have started implementing more focus into my life with great effect is assigning each day of the week its own theme. So Sunday's for business development, Monday is for meetings. I hate meetings, so if I can get the chance to just stack them all next to each other, I do so, and meeting Monday just kind of rolled off the tongue. That's why I gave it that day.
I'm a spiritual, lyrical individual.
Tuesdays are for B-roll, Wednesdays are for polishing edits, Thursdays are my maintenance days where Thomas and I do things like clear out SD cards or finish building a room or a set. Fridays are for scripting, and Saturdays are for doing the most important filming on this channel. In his book On the Shortness of Life, Seneca wrote, "Many pursue no fixed goal, but are tossed about in ever-changing designs by a fickleness which is shifting, inconstant, and never satisfied with itself." According to a survey in 2021 by Statistica, about 50% of participants said they spent nearly 6 hours a day on their phone, and this did not include work-related phone use. If we do the math here, you can see how this quickly adds up over time, collecting years of our life spent in distraction. Now, it's no surprise that our lives going forward will always, include our phones and technology getting more and more sophisticated. We're saving time from technology, but we're also becoming greater consumers. As a practical solution, I don't attempt to fight the battle against my phone. I know that a good deal of my day will probably be spent on my phone, but what has worked for me is blocking out time where I'm away from it. Not for the whole day, just like 3 hours at a time or 4 hours at a time at my best. I put the phone in another room and I actually turn on something called Brain FM, which I've started using like 3 weeks ago. They claim that there's scientific research behind the beats that are played and the music that's played, and it gets you more focused. And I'm actually not sure how much truth is in that, but the beats on that sound like the Social Network soundtrack, but just a little more toned down. And it really helps me get in the zone. And that's my main kind of agenda, is like having just 3 hours a day where I'm not distracted, where I am completely in focus. That's my victory over distraction. That's me narrowing my focus. I'm not sure to what degree that you in your life can batch certain tasks on different days, but assigning each day maybe a theme or a focal point is a great way of narrowing focus, because when you hone down, you do things with blistering intensity. There's this amazing quote by Jason Statham, which I've referenced in the past, but he basically talks about this with regards to exercise, where a focused workout, if it's really short, will set off your body like a piece of dynamite and build you up. Whereas a distracted workout where you're maybe doing a lift and looking at your phone, that will lead to very mediocre results. You might as well have not done anything. The third and final time management principle, it's an idea that I had an inkling for ever since I was a kid, but I really realize now is that time is money. Okay, this is a maxim that has been around forever, but time is money. Our time is very much the same as our money. Even though, as research has shown, our brains observe time and money differently. A lot of people tend to be very conservative with their money. They think there's a nobility in being frugal with money, but they don't value their time as much. One way that I've started seeing the flip of this is if I'm ever taking a flight somewhere, I pretty much refuse to have any layovers. It's just not an option. And depending on what the flight is, if I really feel that that layover is saving me more money than what my time is worth, then maybe I need to do things to become more valuable so that my time becomes more valuable. Because our decisions have the most horsepower the younger we are, and time, unlike money, cannot be regained. Filling your time with things you find worthy, things that bring you joy, success, and health will help create a mindset that allows you to build better boundaries around where you spend your time. And speaking of boundaries, one of the boundaries that I refuse to break is people checking up on my internet activity, all right? Because, it's nothing insidious, but like Stick, I have some weird habits, but I want my internet activity kept confidential, all right? Especially if I'm in a public place, I don't trust that Wi-Fi connection. Look, it's a matter of security, all right? And that's why I trust Surfshark VPN for all of those needs. I've been using Surfshark VPN for almost 18 months now. I really haven't stuck with anything else in my life for 18 months, besides I suppose this channel. But Surfshark VPN has given me a sense of comfort and joy that I have not felt for years. What can I tell you about Surfshark? Well, it's fast and easy to use as you connect to the server that offers you the best speed by default, and it's jam-packed with features that go way beyond basics. It's easy to install and run on all of your devices on just one subscription, and it secures your data with industry-leading measures by using uncrackable encryption and the most secure VPN protocols. Additionally, if you use Surfshark, you can overcome things like location-based price discrimination on plane tickets and car rentals by connecting to VPN servers in different countries. This is also very useful if you want to watch a movie or a TV show show that's available in a different country, but not in the one you live in. I often use Surfshark when I'm researching videos for upcoming maybe director parodies or comedy sketches and I want to watch a movie. I can just Google which countries have that movie and log into a VPN that comes out of that country through Surfshark. If you go to surfshark.deal/CaptainSinbad and use the code CaptainSinbad, you'll get 83% off of a 2-year plan and 3 extra months for free. It's sponsors like Surfshark that help us reinvest in the channel and make higher quality videos. So thank you Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. Thank you all for watching. The amount of time we have to live is completely out of our control, but the way that we spend the most valuable commodity that life gives us is in our control, and it's an enormous responsibility. It's the main responsibility.
For real though, they want you staring at your phone all day.
So for those of us who can embody these principles with the intention of delaying gratification, choosing mastery over mediocrity, narrowing our focus, and truly conceptualizing the importance that we need an imaginary friend like Stick, and also that time is far more important than money, to us I say, greatness is coming. See you in the next one. And I often ask Stick, like, was there